I'm Nair.
And I'm Bellow.
And we are Perspeculative today.
So today we're going to be talking about some anime, of course. What's on today's menu?
It is Samurai Champloo. How do you say it? Samurai Champloo. Samurai Shampoo.
Samurai Champloo. And we're actually doing a segment called
Smexy Ugh.
Smexy Ugh. Okay, so we're doing a Smexy and that's basically where we compare and contrast mine and Nair's different opinions.
Mm-hmm. Different opinions on specific men in specific anime. Specifically.
Doesn't have to be men.
Well, yeah, no. But our favorites that we find attractive in a slightly romantic way. Okay. And we have very different tastes, just to put that out there ahead of time.
Yeah. Yeah, a very different opinion. Hers is gross, mine is awesome.
Hence the name of the show, Smexy Ugh.
Okay, so Samurai Champloo, if you guys don't know the premise, great show. Go ahead and give it a watch. It starts off with a tea house waitress named Fu, and suddenly her life is completely interrupted by a guy she accidentally spills tea on. He ends up being the son of somebody very powerful and official, and she almost gets her fingers chopped off. And my man Mugen saves her in the tea house. And Jin, he comes in later sometime. I don't.
Gene, that is, though. It's okay. But I've already talked to you guys about Inuyasha, that I prefer Shishomaru over Inuyasha himself.
God. That's another segment, okay, guys? It'll be another segment.
And it's the same kind of preference here, because Gene is very calm, boring, reliable, intelligent, and, I mean, he's obviously a good swordsman, and he's very pretty, too, for me, obviously. Where Mugen is very hot-headed, doesn't think things through, and has a certain kind of fighting style, which is a lot more erratic. On purpose, to be fair, that's kind of his thing, and I get it. But I'm just saying, I prefer Gene. I do throughout the entire show from the moment I lay eyes on him, which she knew. Bellow knew that I'd like him. She told me that I'd like him, and I immediately did. And one of my favorite parts with him, as far as the prettiness is concerned, is where he's fighting and he falls into the water and comes out with his kimono hanging off. And it's very appealing there. Ew. And I actually wanted to put that GIF as my background on my computer. Or was it my phone? Either way, I couldn't figure out how to go about it exactly, so I just put the picture as it, if I remember right.
You guys, if you're cringing, I understand. I'm right there with you, okay?
Hey, everybody has their anime characters like, pretty, very pretty.
Okay, there's that, and then there's the panels that zoom into Mugen's eyes, and he's about to kill someone, and you're like, yes, indeed.
That doesn't sound crazy at all.
Okay, well, I didn't say it didn't. And then you gotta be attracted to somebody with a sense of humor, okay? Him sitting there in a tea house full of flames, and he's like, man, that's cold, and his hair's on fire. I mean, you gotta love that.
And I'm not saying that I dislike Mugen as a character. I just don't find him appealing that way, and he's definitely not my favorite character. That's all.
And as far as fighting styles go, I really appreciate the extreme effort and concentration and training and dedication it takes for somebody to have become a samurai master the way that Gene did. But I appreciate it personally with Mugen's backstory, where he fought tooth and nail with the children of criminals and those criminals to survive an island of prisoners, basically, and come out, become a pirate, and then get away from that life for himself, and actually you watch him become a better person. Do you really see that same character progression with Gene?
I think you do see some character progression with him when he meets a woman that actually softens his heart to where he becomes vulnerable with her and actually goes out of his way to save her and vows to come back for her when he is able to.
Okay, I do really like that episode. I will give you that. I really do like that episode, and that's probably one of the things that makes me not just outright dislike Jean. It is that episode. So I will give you the points there. And I actually have sought out that episode just when I don't have anything to watch. Be like, if I was going to pick an episode, I really enjoy that one.
And you like it so much because he is not a soft person. He is not a sentimental person.
Well,
you don't get to
Mugen.
see. But he's hot-headed and he does things on a whim where Jean is just like,
well,
you know?
Yeah, you see that in the episode when that prostitute or whatever she was hired to give him those mushrooms but poison him to force him to fight, and he makes that impulse like, oh, random lady, alcohol in the woods, oh yeah, it's on. But it sort of makes you love him more because, you know...
Well, you love him more. But a person.
Okay, but I'm just saying, I think that it's the same thing where he puts on this front because he did survive the adolescence that he went through, and it is sort of his character premise to have this, I'm a hothead, I don't care anything but about myself and food, you know what I mean? Like, and I love that. It's endearing to me, and I know maybe that's saying more about me than, you know.
Yeah.
But
well, I would argue that anybody that someone likes tells a story about that person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I would say that I think Mugen kind of nods to the Monkey King, as is typical of a lot of characters.
Yeah.
And I've never been... Monkey King's not my favorite character.
He's definitely channeling Monkey King spirit. So that's part of why I think that Fu would end up with Mugen in a romantic way. Because Jean already...
picked his lady.
Yeah, exactly. And he was planning on going back for her. And personally, I like to think that's what he was doing when they split ways, is he was going to find her. But I like to think that Mugen and Fu cross paths again because there's a reason at the finale it shows that Mugen was protecting Fu. And I think that put them together.
Some more character progression.
You see that at the beginning, I don't believe that he thought, I'm going to save this girl because I want some food and I know I can hold it over her head for food. He wants people to think that. I think he spoke up in that moment because he is deep down a good person, and that's why he left the island. That's why he left his old crew, and he would not want to see somebody hurt like that. He's seen enough of that in his life, and he doesn't support that. Even though he puts on that tough guy persona, that I don't care persona, nothing affects me as long as it doesn't hurt me personally, I don't care. And then you see that character progression where he grows an affection for Fu and appreciates her, and even though she's not his type, and you know that throughout the show, he wants that voluptuous woman, like the one that he fell for, and has to learn and grow in love for someone like Fu that he wasn't immediately physically attracted to. Somebody that blows up like a hippopotamus when she eats, 300 bowls of rice.
It's okay, she goes back down to the original size. I'm sure everybody wishes they could do that.
100%. Yes, 110%.
Oh, God.
I mean, even if your voice deepens like this and... I'm still hungry.
Oh, God. But anyway, getting back to it, we usually disagree more intensely than we do in this show. I don't dislike Mugen as much as I dislike some of her preferred characters, and she doesn't dislike Jean as much as some of my preferred
that one
characters.
Episode. That's like
because of that one episode. Hey, a
it.
lot of character progression happened real quick with that man, okay? But it took someone very specific, very special to him to do that, or else it would have already happened in his life.
Yeah. Yeah, and I get that, and he didn't have a lot of people close to him besides maybe his master. Nair always goes for that Ice King, very intellectual, very dedicated or natural talent, and whatever they're obsessed, choice is, in this case, being a samurai, swordsmanship. And I just don't go for it. I need the flame. I need the heat. You know what I mean? And how are you supposed to do that on an iceberg with glasses?
Which, passion is fine, but I like there to be some direction to it. If it's erratic, if they don't think it through...
It's all loop.
Oh my god. If they don't think it through, then I'm not as keen on that.
I don't know. And this is where Nair and I, we're just completely different, opposing sides. Mm-hmm. And I mean, we'll have to go through the anime we've shared and see if there is somebody out there where we're both like, that's the guy. You know,
my man.
He's got it all.
Yeah.
No, he's my man.
That's okay.
But yeah, so that's our little take on Smexy.
Thank you all.